to prepare them. This is what's going to happen in the process. We're going to list your house. We're going to get photographs. We're going to have it measured. We're going to preload it in the MLS. We're going to send it to you to make sure that we didn't miss anything before we hit live. We're going to go live. The phones are going to start ringing. You're going to start putting all your dogs in the car and driving around shopping plazas. The lights are going to be on when you leave. Doors are going to be unlocked because realtors are havoc to your security, right? We are going to go through multiple showings. All feedback is useless because all feedback comes to one thing. The value of your house doesn't equate for them. No matter what you think it's worth, no matter what the market value is, doesn't make any difference. To them, they don't see the value. When they tell you that you have an ugly kitchen, all they're saying is if it was 30 grand less, I'd buy it and make the kitchen better, right? So you're going to get a bunch of feedback. The only good feedback is an offer, okay? After that, we're going to go under contract and we're going to negotiate terms. And then there's going to be a process of due diligence where they're going to go make sure that what they're buying is a quality product and what the bank is lending on is redeemable and can satisfy the loan. And all these things are going to happen. And then we're going to go to closing. And at the closing, you're going to get your check. And then at the very end, I'm going to get my check. But we're going to project to you on revenue share. What's going to happen? You're going to start talking to people and they're not going to want to know what's good for themselves. They're going to be closed-minded. But the key people are going to get this and you're going to be a lifesaver and it's going to be a huge difference. It's going to shave off decades off their career. Some of these people are going to pay off their homes with the icon status, right? So you're going to project what's out there. After you project, you're going to prepare them for what's ahead. Then you're going to pre-handle their objections. Listen, anybody know what the objections are to a real estate agent? We know what they all are. Hey, look, a good prosecuting attorney is going to tell the jury what the defense is going to try to project to them. And they're going to be so condescending and casual about it to where when the defense finally gets up to say it, they're going to be like, oh, well, we expected this. Rich just spent 45 minutes pacing the whole courtroom telling me that this ridiculous defense is going to sound, look, and feel just like this. So you're going to go over all the pre-handled objections, which lets them know that you know what you're talking about. You've obviously heard them all. It also lets them know every single thing that they're feeling is normal, common. It's fine. And then the last thing is you're going to excite them. Let's kick the door down. Let's set this place on fire. We don't run away from the heat. We run toward the heat. We're firemen here, right? What are we doing? Are we going to sit there and be mediocre? Everybody happy with a Camry and 2.5 kids and a 2-story house living in the suburbs, eating pizza and, watching Ted Lasso at night? I mean, come on. I want big things. I want to do big things. I want to retire my parents. I want to retire my kids. I want to retire my friends. I want to build something that's incredible. I want to have a cathartic impact. I want adversity. I want to go into battle. I want adventure. I want camaraderie. I want to fucking do something. Okay? We're going to excite them and get them ready to go. Okay. Now you have found the pioneers, you found the opportunity. You're making their goals happen because you're working for them. You've also indoctrinated all the people that are coming over by saying, we're going to acknowledge that this is a tough decision. We're going to project what's possible for you. We're going to prepare you for what's coming down the road because we just drove down that road. We're going to pre-handle all the objections that you could have because we also had them. And we're going to excite you to go do something big, something that used to separate you from the people pile. Now we have to run and lead. And in the run and lead, it's an entirely different mindset. So for all of you guys, if you have a pen and paper handy, and don't worry if you don't, because this is all recorded, okay? But write the word ladder down vertical, just like you would put a ladder on a building. Now, a lot of people put a ladder on the wrong building. They get to the top and they're like, wow, corporate world sucks. These people tell me when I have to check in, when I have to check out, they bother me all night. I got to wear slacks and a suit. I'm traveling. I'm parking in the same parking lot. I'm sitting in a chair for 9 hours. I only make $96,000 a year. I mean, we've all climbed ladders on the wrong wall. That's why I'm an entrepreneur, and I believe that's why you guys are too. So in the ladder role, what does leadership really look like? Let's start at the very bottom with the R. You have to recognize you are the leader. This is no one else's fault. It is only you. If you suck, you're right. If you're great, you're right. Like, whatever you think you are, you're right. But don't fret. If you suck, you can get better, because I have sucked at just about everything. And there is progress. There's progress in consistency. There's progress in curiosity. So recognize you're the leader. If your sales are bad, it's not your broker's fault. If you guys came here because you thought EXP was going to save your brokerage, you were wanting to hear fairy dust by somebody who wanted to give you some. This is an opportunity. It's got tools, it's got compensation metrics, it's got all kinds of collaboration, education, exposure to other people. It's got all kinds of things to make you great, but you have to actually do it, right? So recognize that you're in a leadership position. And by the way, if any of you guys don't like being the leader, join the group. It's a lonely, terrifying, sometimes a dim place to spend time. I have questioned myself more times in the last 5.5 years than I've questioned the 40 years before that. Okay, so recognize you're in a leadership position. 2, engage and connect. Engaging is not enough. I put a thing on social media, I get 136 likes, I get 17 comments. I love everybody's comments because, oh, well, who doesn't like talking about me? That's not engaging. What engaging is doing is it's opening yourself up and giving access and being available and interested in other people. But where the real gravy is that's the left jab. The real hook of this that knocks it out is the connection. Raise your hand if you're live with your camera. Anybody here ever got heartbroken? Anybody ever broke someone's heart? Okay. Anybody ever do something to somebody that they regretted? Anybody ever really hurt somebody? Okay. Has anybody ever had an embarrassing, awkward moment in public? Okay. Has anybody ever had a parent that has passed away? Has anybody ever dealt with cancer? Okay, those are connection points. Okay, when you connect there, if you connect with somebody in 3 or 4 places, you can move mountains with your fingertips. Okay, relationships are the energy field, the frequency, the magic that moves people to different places. Why do you think rich people send their kids to Ivy League colleges when they don't need the money or the job that they're going to land? It's to build relationships with other people in the fraternities or sororities, so that all these future CEOs and wealthy families will be basically networking for the rest of their lives. And they'll take over your, dim-witted, lazy son because you and dad went to school together in the 90s, right? So networking is key. Engaging and connecting is key. If you engage without connecting, then you're going to start asking yourself, wow, I thought that person liked me. I thought they respected me. I thought they trusted me. My reputation is not what I thought it was. You're going to start feeling those things. And don't worry, you could feel them even if you do connect. This is, an interesting part of the business that we're in. But that is a contributing factor. The D, drive results. How many people can you go tell dig a ditch? Just grab the shovel and dig the ditch. Get it done. You got to drive results. When you get off this call, you can do nothing. That's always available for you. That's what all the lazy people choose. All the scared people choose. When you're dealing with people, you have fearful people and you have depressed people. I like the depressed people because they have fallen from the top, but they know what the view looks like and they're miserable because the view used to be better there than where they're at. Fearful people have no idea what the view up top looks like. They can only tell you that it sucks. Okay? So make sure that you are driving results. Drive results for your people. Drive results for yourself. Go on the offense. Make something happen. Okay? The next D is develop other people. I've spent the last 5.5 years trying to develop other people on the 2 or 3 things that I know well. You can't get everything you want out of me. I can't offer it. I can move the needle for you in 2 or 3 things. These aren't the things I would choose to, by the way. Like if God and I were having a conversation and say, hey, Rich, what kind of superpower skills would you like? I would say, oh, I'd like to do these 3 things. And he's like, well, here's these 3. Okay. The 3 that I have is that, 1, I'm a very good example for people because I am not polished. I am not uber educated, but I am super mindful and aware and street smart and how to navigate a world. And that is a very relatable thing for a lot of people. It allows a lot of people to feel like I'm authentic, or that I'm shooting them straight, or that I'm not talking down to them. I'm talking with them, right? Not something that I personally love about myself, just is. I'm aware of it. 2, I am consistent. You guys can't beat me at anything if I have say in it. If anybody here can run further than I am, it's just for a number of days until we place a wager. I will pass you in the race, because every single day I will run until my brain says no so many times to where I don't trust myself and I keep running. I will run till I puke. I will run until my shin splints start to numb out and go away. That is a superpower. I didn't know that. I thought that was just a torture mechanism. It's very helpful in business, right? 3rd is that I don't multitask, and the whole world does. I have a very narrow focus, and I go all the way down the rabbit hole until I hit the bottom, until I come out in China. Like, I start digging a hole, I come out in China, and I got to take a plane back home so I can go back in my yard and fill up the hole. Okay? I will go down one narrow path. I think too many people are majoring in too many things. All right? So find out what your superpowers are and roll with it. Go with it. I've made these 3 cards that are not the cards that I would have necessarily chosen. I've made them work for me. Right? I'm sitting in my backyard right now in my little Zoom room that my son and I built. My view of the pool, and my kids go out there when it's not rainy, and my wife is the best scenery I could have. I could have Ferraris, or I could watch my wife in a bikini. I'd prefer to watch my wife in a bikini. That's just me, right? But I'm building the life around what I want. I use the tools that I have to work for me. I'm going to make $1 million this year, whether I'm in a coma or I'm here with you guys, right? So build out the life that you want with the tools that you have. I think it's super important. Develop other people along the way, because you don't have it all, I promise you. Advance the vision. My vision is not important. Does anybody care what my vision is? It's not really relevant, right? How does that really matter? What does it matter? Your vision is the most important thing. Monday through Thursday, the first thing I do is come over here and see if we can get your vision a little further down the road. Most of you guys are not in my revenue share group, right? But we're shareholders at the company, and we're people, and we're looking at making an impact, because most people want to make an impact, and I'm not, above that. Like, I like making an impact if I can. So advance the vision. For me, it was very, very simple. My pioneers, I advanced the vision. Let me tell you some of the first few names that joined me at EXP. Keely Tays, retired. Barry Pulver, retired. Marcus Dilley, should have retired, still in production, but makes enough money to retire. Nakia Evans, retired. Lance, retired. In a different way. Lance is in Missouri, but Lance still has 27 people by accident when he was a brand new agent, right? The people that came over, all I could think about was, this is how you have to, here's the mastery of the tool. This is how you have to learn it. This is how you have to pitch it. Let me pitch it for you so you can leverage me. I did weekly lunch and Zoom EXP Explains for 5 years in a row. I think I missed 9 in 5 years. You know how boring it is to talk about something for 5 years? Oh my God, right? It was a leverage tool. So we have to advance the vision for everybody else. We have to make it as easy as possible for them, to where all they have to do is bring the ambition, okay? And then the last part is the legacy piece, okay? Your legacy is being defined, whether you are aware of it or not, whether you're participating in what that looks like or not. It's just being defined, period. So what's it going to look like? If you had to stop right now and write out your own eulogy and minus all of the self-love, what would it say? 5 years ago, I'll tell you exactly what mine would have said. Divorced, dropped out of college, doesn't like when people tell him what to do, makes enough money by winging it, never realized his potential, no kids, smokes too many cigarettes, likes being on one wheel on the motorcycle instead of 2. Like, these weren't things that the world was better off because I was here. Yeah, maybe I was entertaining and the people who loved me knew that I loved them back. I'm not saying that I didn't do anything in my life. But if you look at it 5.5 years later, I got 2 kids. There's a legacy piece there. I'm actually a really good dad because I waited so long, right? I mean, we were able to retire my mom and dad, right? My in-laws are next, right? I mean, we've helped 5 or 6 people shorten their careers by decades. We put out charity. We donated $10,000 in charity, right? So we're doing things that are much more meaningful now. And unfortunately, whether I like it or not, or you guys like it or not, it just seems like the dollar bill goes a long way when it comes to hunger, shelter, cures, research, stuff like that. So if that's the medium that this corrupted world has to use, then I want to get my hands on it so I can actually implement the change that way as well, right? All right, guys, sorry. That was a dry run. I got 45 minutes. I'm not going to go that fast in the public speaking thing. Anybody have any feedback, questions? Did I piss anybody off?
Dude, no, that was good stuff. That was good. Hearing it for the first time.
Probably hear this whole thing Saturday. It's those 3 steps, guys. If you go back and listen to this live stream, it's how to get the Bible study in your living room formed. Then it's how do I get a lease on a small church and get that filled? And the last part is how do I become Joel Osteen? Not that I want to ever become Joel Osteen. I'm just saying, how do I have that arena where there's 20,000 people in there feeling good together? And I believe it's solely by finding something, indoctrinating the mindset of the people and getting the culture right, and then leading every day wondering, did I recognize that everything is my fault, good and bad? Did I engage and connect with the people that are doing the most amount of work? Did I drive results, or did I just have a narrative or complacency or complain? Did I develop other people today? Did I advance their vision? Is my legacy going to be something that my kids will be having to shorten my eulogy versus think of what to say? What does that look like? All right, guys. Sorry, I'm going to get to the CMA and we'll go through that granular CMA and the grid and all that stuff. But I just had a practice on somebody and I didn't want to suck on Saturday. So I saw where I'd made some mistakes today. So I'm going to recalibrate along the way. All right, so listen, we got 3-4 minutes. Anybody have any questions about something that's happening right now for you?
Question myself. Between what you just talked about right now, Rich, as well as yesterday that Hank went through, he's been encouraging us to get our 36 A's. And so I'm starting to write out a list of 36 people. You're talking about contributing to others. I'm trying to figure out how the hell I developed this list of 36 people. I got to like number 6. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to find 30 more people to add to this that I think I want to contribute to and that can contribute to me, right? So what's the best way of building out this list?
I've never gone through that program, but I think that Hank has probably worked the least amount of hours and built the biggest revenue share in relationship to his income. So
Yeah.
I could coach under Hank until the cows come home. I think that I don't know how you go from 6 to 36. That's a lot of people. What I might do is just think about the ripple effect that the 6 people could have and count them in. So like, for example, Jamil, if you could affect my life, you would actually be affecting my wife's life and my kid's life. If you can get me home more and make me more powerful as a person, that's 4 lives connected through one person changing. And maybe you could look at it like that, where there's a sort of a tiered group effect of it and work off that. And then in the meantime, building relationships. And, I think so, Jamil, like I know you better than a lot of people in this call. I think 6 is you're not thinking about who you love. That's too low. I know that you have a bigger number than that, but it might not be 36, and that's where I would utilize that. I think you probably have a list of 14 or 15 people, and then their spouses or kids or parents or anything that's their pressing need. could be lumped into the 36, and you can even get to know them. Like, so for example, Jamil, if your dad was ill and you were working to pay his medical bills, I would want to meet your dad and say, look, I'm going to do everything I can to help Jamil help you, but I want to get to know you and I want to also be of help. And I think that if I'm helping your dad, you and I are going to get tighter than if I'm not. That's just a
Fair
speculation.
enough. I understand. I see where you're coming from. I appreciate that. Thank
I
you.
don't really know the answer. That's just where I'm coming from.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Anybody else have any other questions?
$10:15 Rockstar Agent call for anybody who is still on here.
Well, I can't be everywhere. Sweet Jesus.
Get off.
You know, and hey, they're all recorded, Helen. They're all recorded.
That was the nicest way to kick us off of here.
Yeah, I know. Don't become a perpetual student. Take the classes you can. Watch the rest after. So listen. Here's a quick last little tail off for our session. I needed a luxury agent to help one of our luxury agents with answers I didn't have. So this guy reached out because I put a comment on EXP Family Tree, a post. He reached out and spent an hour with my agent, and she like soaked it up. It was the best hour she's had here at EXP, including the hours that she's had with me. How awesome is that, right? So I got to kick you guys off, and I'm going to give him an hour of my own time back right now. So let's get on Rob's call. Let's have a good week. And next week I'm going to be in Maine. So, you know, I don't do this on Fridays, and all next week's family time, which is why I joined this company. So we will continue right after the 4th of July on the Monday through Thursday. Okay.
Go crush it on Saturday.
Thank you. Thanks, Megan. All the good vibes. I need them all. Bye.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.